We're back for the second half.
All right, I believe we come in on Nero in his room with his gun.
So it's not the heavy bolter. It's just Nero sitting at a table, and he's got the hell gun on the table in front of him, still connected to his Ghostbusters backpack. And he just says, I know you can hear me. It's okay that you can't talk back. I don't know how that works. I don't do that. You don't have a name yet. You're new. And I didn't want to give you one till it was time. We've seen some things together over the last 2 years. But I have yet to fire you at anything in, you know, murderous anger, like I have the heavy bolter, whose name I don't know. As your operator, your first operator, it is my job to give you a name. And I hope that I don't need to use you in the immediate future, but I'm thinking I probably will. So just be aware that today might be the day that you get a name. All I ask is that I will attempt to keep you safe from falling into the hands of Xenos and heretics and unwashed savages. If you could just do me the favor of not being upset. Just remain calm. And carry on, I suppose. And if we have a deal, I'll try to see if if any name comes to mind while I'm gunning down what will almost certainly be a Yuvoth.
He will name it Sasha.
If you agree, give me no sign whatsoever.
Yes, exactly. And then he just slides it back into the holster and walks out of his quarters shouting, "Fool! Where are you? Assemble the gunnery crews!"
Oh, I was watching the thing from last week. I do like the part where Garth has already stole the best berth as ever. I like the idea that Cyrax just walks into one that's like, yes, this one is good. There's no furniture here. Less for me to have to throw out. You just see him dragging a lathe down the hallway.
I assume that you create a layer in the engine section of the ship.
Oh, yeah,
you don't come up here near the bridge with the rest of us normal people.
He probably technically has a berth in officer's country. He just never uses it. Or if he does, he uses it for like storage of like, this is my shit. No one touched my shit. So I put my shit in my room so that no one can touch it. Because he doesn't sleep. He doesn't need to sleep.
So Thale has brought the gunnery crews together. They're at attention. You can see that some of the extra crew you brought on board, some of the...
I didn't know we were doing the scene. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah. They've been given, uniforms. They've obviously been instructed in some of the I mean, you're talking about the savages here who happen to be descended from gunnery crews and have, cave drawings of how to fire a gun that they've learned from. But they've been sort of been integrated as much as possible. Thale's there. He's not really. He wasn't an officer before, but he sort of dropped into this role because he was at least a bit charismatic and well liked by the crew. Nero, sorry, Laura, what did you say? Master of Gunnery. The gunnery crews are assembled. The macro batteries are all loaded. We stand at about 60% capacity. We wait your orders.
Master of Ordnance to start with, but that's fine. I look at you, all of you, and I see incompetence. The guns of this ship are not ready to fire, even if you have ammunition loaded, even if every one of you is standing nearby. I am not prepared to press the button on the ship that will allow those guns to fire. Today is an auspicious day for you. For many of you, it will be your first day for the rest of your lives on this ship. For others, it will be your first day under my command.
For me, it is Tuesday.
For me, it is the day where I am going down to the surface, and when I return, I expect you to have run continual drills. You will unload all of the ammunition from every gun. You will store it, as prescribed, in your manuals. will then reload the guns and prepare them for firing. You will run through all of the standard drills. They are standard drills for a reason. We will do this continually without rest or break until I return.
Give me an intimidate roll. Give me you can have +10 plus whatever you get naturally from being a jerk and being on this ship.
Being a jerk? That is not even remotely true.
If he wants to give you a bonus for being a hard ass, you take it.
That's 15 from the ship, isn't it?
Yes, I have -5 to all those social. Can we count this as being a combat topic?
I will say this is a combat topic, yes.
Okay, so I just have +10 plus another 10 that you're giving me.
You're making them drill, essentially. So
yes, so it's intimidate +20, which is going to end up being 60. I mean, I'm drilling them because half of them don't know their fucking job.
Well, I mean, even if they do know their job, you still drill them.
Okay, so they will do that without loss of morale.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to each of the gun crew captains and just be like, I knew your family. I knew them well. You have all done excellent work throughout the years. Knew your mother. I expect all of you to carry on the heritage, whether you are an original member of this crew or whether you are a newcomer that has joined us after a long period of not being in the Imperium. All of you will carry out the Emperor's will, and all of you will be prepared to fire the weapons on this ship at the Lord Captain's command. Go. The drill begins now, and he's going to pull out a stopwatch and click it. And then he's going to head down with all of his guns and his frag grenade and his armor down to the shuttle bay to go take a nap on the shuttle, waiting for everybody else to show up while all of his gun crew members run non-stop drills.
Okay. At the moment, I thought you were going to say, I know your families. I knew them well. I spaced some of them.
No, he was just a very good killer, not a gunner.
Okay, I'm going to give you 50 achievement points towards your next military objective from that role as well. So,
cool. I don't know what that means, but that sounds good.
I've made a note, so I'll let you know when it's relevant.
Listen, guys, I'm the first achiever right here. Does that mean I get a special achievement for first in the barrel?
Cyrax pulls open his robe, and he has a little sticker sheet, and the mech ninja goes...
Next up, Pierre's going to be like, well, I got 300 achievement points just for, I don't know, giving a speech.
It doesn't matter. You know, the captain showed her to the bridge, 300 achievement points. Well done, Captain.
Incredible.
Absolutely well done. Incredible.
I mean, technically, all of my successes are the captain's successes.
I mean, yeah, that's a way to look at it.
So I think when the rest of you get on the shuttle, Nero is already just taking a nap. He's intimidated all of the arms, and he's just like, you will prepare the landing space for us. When we drop down, you need to drop all this recording equipment and these sensors, and then you're gonna recon back to outside the bubble zone. You'll wait for us, and then as soon as he's done with that speech, he's just out.
As long as we're not dropping seismic bombs. I've seen Skull Island. I know what happens.
I actually have a question. Can we try to procure items while we're not at a port? By just sending notes, say, hey, can I get
you most certainly can. So it is
money order?
Much harder. But in fact, you because you've got the colonist leader at landfall, his trait is administrative expert. I think he gives you a bonus. We're going to look up quickly. I think he gives you a bonus to procuring things from this colony.
What book is this? Colony Management?
I was wondering if I could procure it from somewhere else.
Check.
If I see a message saying, at Footfalls, I would like to try to pick this up if you have it in stock when I stop by.
Do you take checks and money orders? If the answer is yes, you're good to go.
The thing is, you're doing the test based on where you are.
Right.
Makes it hard, but you can still make the attempt. You don't lose out just because you are here. So it is from Stars of Iniquity.
Try to get that.
Somebody in chat.
Thing for
somebody in chat saying Amazon 40K. You assume that the Imperium of Man did not start out as Amazon, but that's what became the Imperium of Man. Amazon subsumes all.
Emperor of Man is Jeff Bezos' genetically engineered child.
Of course, he's got enough money. I mean, right? That's what happens.
The first High Lord of Terra was the first tech priest was obviously XAE 12.
Oh God, no.
Elon Musk's child.
Man, I got out of my medically induced stupor to see that bullshit, and I was like, I mean, just put me back under, really.
Incredible.
Like, I don't even just.
It's pronounced Kyle.
When you name your kid after your Google Chrome suggested password, I think I
was gonna say,
really funny.
sorry to all of the Kyles in 100 years in the future that have archived this. I apologize, but in this time period, your name is ridiculous and dumb.
Look, at least it's better than, you know.
Did you just insult all Kyles?
No, all XAE 12-X Kyles.
You know how like you get a lot of like really rich people that are give those kids there's like those really snooty names that it's just like, but they pronounce it some way that's like, that's not how that. No, it's not how that word is spelled. It's like, it looks like, you know, Cyrillic. It's like it's pronounced Landon. It's like the fuck it is. It's not how English works. Oh God.
It's spelled Percival, but it's pronounced Landon.
Honestly, I thought it was an Onion article when I first heard that. I'm like, there's no fucking and then I was like, and then I remembered who it was talking about. I was like, no, I believe it.
That crazy. Yeah, let's talk about calling up and placing an Amazon order, I guess.
Yep. So what you're after is rare. So that's on this population of world, rare is a -20. You want 1, so that is a +10 total. And you get another +10 from your expert administrator. So effectively, he makes acquiring something here the equivalent of acquiring it in a colony 10 times the size. So, all right. That's so impressive. You're a total of +20. Plus, you can make your commerce test.
Muted.
You are so muted.
So it's +20 -20, so it evens out.
It's actually So it's after all modifiers. It's actually +20 because it's normally -20, +30 for only wanting 1, +10 for the expert administrator.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So plus, but you need to make the commerce test first.
Indeed. Ooh, I'll spend a fate point.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep. Best time to spend a fate point right before
There
going into
that
immense
was
mortal danger.
Good use of a fate point.
So that's up. You're up to +30 now. So again, so you're at 69% chance. It's been a few times a 69% chance.
Excellent.
I can't wait to fail again.
All right.
My favorite chance roll.
It's any less than 69.
No.
Oh my God.
That fan art is never going to be released.
I gave it a shot.
There you go.
All right,
we'll try again next.
Get a 69. Fail.
Yep. Try again next episode. And every
you said
episode.
nice, so it's not meant to be.
Until the end.
It's not fan art, mate. It's actual art. Okay. When my shows start getting fan art, then I'll be excited.
I remember when my show started getting fan art. I was excited. Great.
All right.
I think my YouTube channel has only received 2 pieces of fan art ever.
I mean, I don't know how
this
it
makes
happened,
me feel sad.
To be fair, I was about to say, to be fair though, Sid, they might be too scared to submit the fan art.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's when your YouTube channel starts getting /fiction, I start to worry.
They might be worried that I might open up a new video series, Dirty Artists. And
I was expecting.
This is what they call fan art.
That's a video series I could do for you. I was expecting
AP to say, we started getting fan art, and then Zonalar showed up.
Zonalar was in early.
Okay, so we fire the shuttle down again. So Atomic Cyrax gets a good look at this ship for the first time, and you saw the description. I don't need to do it again. But yeah, this ancient ship which has been split along the hull. So the shuttle sets down, not a too distant walk from the ship.
As soon as the landing ramp is down, Nero's like, wake.
There is like an obvious path into the ship where effectively the most common way that people have gone to the ship during all this sort of restoration action, so there is a clear way in. And you can also see around here there's all sorts of mini shrines the local population have built at various points in time, clearly making this place a place of reverence. Although you do hear that the local populace don't come here much, if at all. as well. And there is a sort of an eerie silence here once you actually set foot on the surface here. And so the shuttle's dusting off and moving a bit further away. Are you bringing Arz with you as well, or is it just the four of you?
No. So as soon as we touch down, Nero's going to get on his comm beat and be like, clear. Withdraw to safe distance. Await further instructions. Run continual auspex.
All right. They do so. So it's just the four of you, I believe.
Yeah, Nero's just going to gesture at all the sensor equipment that Cyrax asked for and just be like, well, I don't know how to use this.
There's all these crates there.
He was like, let's take pics for the Magos Biolotus. And Nero's like, all right, I'll just get some guys to load it. I mean, good luck running it, but...
So we'll say there's probably some handheld augers here. There's some pick thieves or pick readers, pick recorders. There's as much handheld or trolley pushed equipment as you want to have from the ship.
Cyrax, how confident are you in the security of your servo skull attendant?
Absolute. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, this thing, I wasn't there with you in the engineering room, so I don't know that this is an evil artificial intelligence, but I do know that the words machine intelligence and evil have been thrown around, so...
You have been attacked by a servitor before, Nero.
Yes, which I have distinctly mentioned directly to him, and he told me this is heretic. So, yeah, Nero's just gonna be like, keep an eye on it. You may not know this, but I am actually not very observant. I require warning before I inflict violence on things.
He doesn't even respond to that. He just goes,
Really? Not. Do tell.
Well, Garth, it's like I don't have any eyes at all.
ha!
I know the feeling.
Joke.
Then Nero's just gonna lean against one of these sensor equipments just to be like, well, at least I'm not standing.
No, I'll probably take like a. See, actually the servo skull has an auspex.
Yes, I know.
I'll take one just in case, because Imperium technology is not the most reliable.
I'm actually surprised I couldn't see your sarcasm coming.
Okay, Garth. I suppose I deserve that.
Sorry, so you can give me a Forbidden Lore Archaeotech roll plus 10 because you didn't get to make this roll last session.
Forbidden Lore Archaeotech.
Just gonna roll a 1, and you're gonna have to tell him everything about the ship and exactly where we need to go. Gonna highlight the path with a green line along the floor. You still rolled really good.
Yeah.
Wow, a 13. Holy fuck.
So, based upon what you know of this ship, it does look like, as Arthur guessed, an Acheron class battle cruiser or heavy cruiser. You don't know too much about this type of ship. It was generally regarded to be a failed design. You'd heard there was only actually one of that model ever built, but it was later destroyed. But this one might be either a prototype or a subsequent build that wasn't well recorded.
Retrofit or something.
Yeah, there were a lot of ships were built around the Horus Heresy that weren't well recorded because they were in time of war. They were trying to churn out stuff as fast as possible. But yeah, it does look like an Acheron class heavy cruiser, which are normally torpedo boats. So this one seems to be fitted with landing bays rather than torpedoes. More like, as I said before, a carrier. Yeah, any sort of markings on the outside hull have been long since worn away. The pathway seems to lead into the aft. So, assuming you guys are just heading up there, you can give me awareness rolls at plus 10.
Great. Can't wait to fail while everyone else succeeds.
You know, you say, you're talking about gems, how a lot of them weren't recorded. And I remember that the Abyss class battleship was built on Jupiter, I think.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest ships ever made. And they had no idea, Imperium had no idea it was made on fucking Jupiter.
Did you say plus 10?
Plus 10.
I'm going to fate point my roll.
Oh shit, I actually succeeded.
I'm going to fate point mine too, because I've got nothing better to do with it.
You're like, we got like an hour and change. We probably won't be in deadly combat.
Here's a question. With roll 20 for the modifier, do we actually have to type in the plus or just...
No,
not for
if you type in the plus, it reverses it into a minus.
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes plus 10.
Because that's actually what I did.
Yeah, no.
It wouldn't have made a difference because it's only a 20-point shift.
I rolled an 88, so it would have been a failure either way.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Okay.
When it asks for the plus thing?
Oh,
Do not type plus, you just type 10.
Yeah, you
Still
only
bad.
put something in if you're doing a minus.
Correct.
I wonder if I actually put in plus. I don't know.
So
I'm oblivious. It's like I see nothing at all.
yeah, so for Pierre and Nero, as you're approaching, so yeah, when you've overflew this thing, your first impression was that any sort of paint or designs that it had been worn away by time, but you don't even see like flecks of color on its hull. Like it's like the hull itself was never actually painted. It's just pure sort of silvery black metal with no decoration whatsoever.
Oh boy, that's a fucking flag right there.
Yeah, Pierre, with your 2.9 degrees, you do actually spot probably about a third of the way along the hull is what you'd first assume to be just some sort of impact damage, because you remember it looked like there should have been in some sort of combat. But you realize there's actually like a smaller vessel, the end of it sticking out of the hull, like something like a smaller vessel has actually rammed into this ship at some point or crashed into it. You can just sort of see like the rear end of this other vessel sticking out a side about a third way down the aft section of the hull.
Oh.
Like,
Well, it seems like someone wanted to board something.
yes, with some torpedo of some sort.
It's not a torpedo. It's definitely some sort of maybe
is it
boarding shuttle
like a
or
breach
something.
boarding
Or like
ship,
a
yes.
Cestus ram, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
That looks
definitely
exactly
in a
what
battle.
It looks exactly what it's like. A Cestus assault ram.
Yeah, wow, crazy how that works.
Is that normal? Anyone that
It's
knows
just-
anything about these ships, I mean, look at this. This thing has never been painted.
I'm just kind of looking down. I was like, it looks fantastic.
Would I know? Well, I was gonna
Garth,
say,
you really have to cut that out at some
How-
point. You can't just be wine and eye jokes can't be your shtick.
So it is.
well,
Does it actually look like it's painted, or is it just the bare?
No, it's bare metal. It's never been painted.
No, it's never been
Okay.
painted, is what he said.
Could
Yeah.
it is?
The
Could
ship
it
has never
possibly
been
just
painted.
been worn off with weather over
No,
time?
he specifically
No.
said it's never been painted.
That's specifically what you noticed.
Okay.
Which is why he's tossing it out, mostly to Cyrax, but he doesn't know.
well, there's some, yeah. Like as a player, I think I know. Obviously, how hard would it be to know, James, that the Space Wolves are the only ones who still use the Cestus assault rams?
No, that'd be. I mean, it doesn't. It looks ancient. It looks as ancient as a ship.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 30K
it looks-
cruiser, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they maybe still use them. There were very few legions that really actively, like, because most, if you were going to do ship-to-ship boarding, you would use a boarding torpedo because it cuts through.
Yep.
So that's this assault ram is like, that's like something you would want to land. Yeah, you could ram it, you could, but that's like punching into a landing bay or.
No, it's got magma cutters in the front. It cuts its way in. So it's got magma cutters.
Yeah, I guess it does.
What is our operational conduct, Lord Captain?
So how far or how hard, like high up is this rammed into this thing? I mean, I guess
It's not something you can reach from the ground. Like you have to first off, like the pathway you're on takes you to a hole in the side of the ship. You'd have to make your way along broken ground to about maybe, I don't know, 400 yards down the side of the ship, and then climb probably about 5 or 6 decks up.
If only we had a grapnel.
yeah, you say that.
Lord
the
Captain,
common item that I failed to get.
Yeah.
our operational conduct, sir. How will we be purporting ourselves within this vessel?
And keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have the heavy bolter and just be like,
Yes,
and
keep your heavy bolter ready at all times.
am I free to fire on any moving object within?
If it looks like a human, don't fire right away unless it seems to be aggressive.
Very well.
I have no idea what the local population of fauna are in this place, so
There is a high-pitched whine as you hear the coils of a plasma gun powering up.
I'm just going to suspect that the fauna is going to be like that of Catachan and should be very aware.
I mean,
all too familiar with that. I have the scars to prove it.
as far as Nero's concerned, he's number 2 in the walking order forward because the skull's in first.
So instead of having,
I'll make sure to keep my eyes peeled.
Garth,
Instead of-
Please.
Garth, I don't need that sass from you in the moment.
It's not that you can't stop making those jokes. It's just I'm asking for something more than wine and eyes.
Like some cheese with your wine.
Perhaps you have heard the tale of the heretical cinematographer Michael the Bay.
I have not heard of this Michael
And
the
how
Bay,
a single physical trait could determine an entire character personality.
I heard he was very fond of exterminatus.
Nero nods like, oh yeah, I'm totally down with this guy.
You know, instead of having like a chest piece mounted light, Cyrax's light comes from his eyes. Just and
Yeah,
there's
that's
just
normal.
2 headlights. Well, I mean, it was a perfect place to mount him, right? Yeah, he's not
Looking
really
at where the whole leads
gonna
into
start
what you
hitting
would.
him.
So we assume would be like a tertiary armory at the rear of the ship. It looks like it's been blown out from the inside, so probably when it crashed, something exploded from the inside.
Good
and so,
shit in here?
well, so they basically this whole open chamber has been set up as like a base camp for exploration of the vessel. So there's all sorts of crates around of equipment, probably even some foodstuffs, tools.
Those foodstuffs look good.
Some of it's pretty non-perishable. Yeah, there's some like MRE equivalents there, you know. So for
That was
for
not the answer. That I mean, I asked, was it good?
there is hardtack for below deck workers.
I understand.
Administratum issue cheese-like powder substance.
Yeah, well,
Government
corpse starch is the
cheese?
most
Oh
common thing.
yes.
Corpse starch is the most common thing that's used. For,
I've had
low
government
risk,
cheese before.
in the creature sector.
I assume
Look,
you've
AP,
never had it twice.
You don't eat the government cheese in 40K. You use it to build defensive fortifications.
Yeah, so this bay itself has been gutted by fire at some point in the distant past, but now it's just being converted into a base camp.
Yeah.
There is like a rumble in the deck that would indicate that the plasma drive is currently lit, although it doesn't seem to be running any sort of like power, so you can sort of see where bulkhead doors have been manually cranked open. There's been sort of little like camp lights erected with generators to cast light in certain areas, all which have run out of fuel now and powered down. So yeah, there is definitely power in the ship, but it's all being drawn somewhere. There are some dried blood splatter on the ground, like in some cases clearly enough that a body fell here and bled out, but no bodies around. So
No one
rather
else is
than being-
worried about the lack of bodies here. No? Okay.
Lack
Well, if
of
it's
bodies?
been many thousands of years, the bodies have likely.
This
long
is our
turned
base
to
camp.
dust.
The blood would be gone. This base camp was attacked. The bodies were removed.
Oh, so you're speaking of bodies that are not thousands of years
Are
old.
you trying to speak of the bodies of my family?
Probably. I mean, I doubt it was your family. I mean, this is the base camp. It was probably lower decksmen
While they're
here.
having this conversation, Cyrax just keeps walking on.
My assumption, it seems like the mother wanted to keep it as quiet as possible.
You still need someone to pick things up and move them. Look,
He is quite correct.
That's what my siblings were for.
your brother was very high ranking on the ship. Brother was also an officer. I can say that much about him.
But again, it seemed like my mother wanted to keep it as little to no people as possible. Reason why she made the probe restricted to only the Agency Prime and herself.
Cyrax, we're having a relevant discussion.
Come on, flesh bags.
You really don't find the fact that there is blood but no bodies concerning. Blood does not stick around for 10,000 years.
It could also be the fauna that came in and picked whatever bodies they were here gone.
Do you think fauna approached this vessel? Did
They're
you notice an
carnivorous-
abundance of fauna outside?
An abundance of carnivorous fauna. There's distinction.
Did you notice perhaps a distinct lack of such creatures within what we would call the bubble exclusionary zone?
Perhaps we should refer to the almighty GM as to the the horticultural nature of this planet.
We all
if there
turn
are
to
such
the
planets.
to the hooded
Turn
figure
and
who appears.
Look pointedly towards the screen.
This is the twist. James is the servo skull.
So this ship has effectively crashed into like a craggy mountainous region. There
Correct.
isn't a lot of foliage here.
Yes.
And yeah, there were no animals coming in. And this place has a pallor about it, which makes you feel generally discomforted as well. Probably it would affect animals similarly.
I mean, the easy theory is that whoever was here is one of the, when somebody of the party died, they just took the body with them. I mean, these doors are manually cracked open.
I will take awareness rolls at +10 on since you're stopping to examine the blood.
Some of us are, but yeah.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
Yep.
I mean, I have a servo skull.
Yeah, minus 3.1 degrees of success.
I don't know if I want to reroll mine.
Hey,
No,
2
keep
degrees of success.
All right. So Cyrax, you do notice that there are some drag marks. So some of the pools there's clearly been dragged, and Garth, you recognise that in everywhere where there's drag marks, they've been dragged further into the ship, not out of the ship.
Fascinating.
What's fascinating?
There were bodies here. They were dragged further towards the interior, not the exterior, which tells me that it was not local wildlife at all.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if there wasn't already around in the heavy bolter's chamber, this is where Nero, puts that in there with a very loud noise.
Unnecessarily jacks the shotgun.
And then he activates his omniscope so that he can start sweeping the area. And
Sid, you mean to give the element of surprise away? The worst thing you can do?
Lord Captain, there's one final note that we haven't discussed before we go any further. As you may know, given the testimony of the Master of Whisperers, I am immune to the effects of this thing. There is no evidence that any of you are. What would you like me to do in case any of you are compromised?
Nero, I would like to point out that it is doubtful you are actually immune. Perhaps you have
there was direct testimony.
Strong resistance.
Sure. Everybody else fell under its evil machine intelligenciness.
No reason to assume that the rest of us would suffer the same fate as the NPCs.
I don't understand what that word means. Lord Captain, your orders in this regard.
Cyrax has an internal
Let's
thought.
just all keep a gun to each other's heads if anything.
I would
were to
prefer
happen.
none of you pointed a gun at me.
Walk along with in a giant chain of
Cyrax,
The mechs can shoot off.
Cyrax, it's like that scene in Inglourious Bastards. Everybody dies.
Yeah, I feel like someone would trip and just set off a chain reaction of murders. Lord Captain, I don't believe we should be pointing guns at each other. I think
Cyrax
it should just be
Cyrax
me.
just shows back up, just holding a grenade in his hand.
Then let's just proceed and just be
Cyrax, what are
cautious
you
of
doing
each
with
other.
that grenade? That is not necessary at this location.
mutually assured destruction. Of course.
Debatable. However, it is most perturbatory what is dragged back into this. Perhaps, Captain, are you aware if there is some sort of schism, my Logothic is terrible, between the colonist and your new crew? Could this have been a conflict of some kind?
Possibly, or the effects of the whatever it was that got my mother.
It might have been a safer option to drag the wounded from deeper into the ship as opposed to outside, because there was a greater threat outside.
Indeed.
These ships are quite massive. You could easily lose a pursuing force inside the many
tunnels,
decks and passageways.
Indeed. Let's just keep our ears and eyes open.
Based on the location where we are, because I don't have a clear mental picture, if this were a defending force attempting to battle someone, an attacking force from outside the ship, would that assessment fit the interpretation that
the fallen
that we're
bodies
seeing
and the drag marks? Yeah, I'm with you.
Possible. This was the first stand, and they pulled back further in. But that being said, you can certainly see from the amount of blood in some places, dead bodies were definitely dragged. Not just people who are injured. Like enough blood came out of this body first that they would not be alive before they were dragged away from that puddle.
I mean, it's still, recover your dead or their equipment.
So there's also no in this first chamber you come into, you don't see battle indications. Like you don't see barricades or shell casings or any sort of indication that there was like a pitched battle going on here.
So I would say, look around you. Do you see any signs of any form of battle? Plus, given the size of these stains, one would conclude that these people were dead already when they were dragged. If you were in the middle of a battle and you were attempting to save lives, why bother expending resources and energy attempting to recover and protect corpses?
Well, actually, that is kind of standard training for Imperial Guardsmen.
Still, even if one were to retrieve the dead bodies, there's no indication of a battle here. Look around you.
I agree with you on all regards, except for the dragging away of dead bodies. Obviously, we wouldn't want to leave a dead for anyone to do stuff with them.
Or more importantly, their equipment.
Well, I'm sure that matters a lot to you, yes.
Regardless, cause and effect. If there's no indications of a battle taking place here, then obviously these bodies were not being dragged away as a consequence or perhaps during said battle. They were dragged away for some other reason.
Nero's just gonna raise his heavy bolter and sweep the omniscope around. Not nervously, but just like, in the horror movie way of the person just looking around the room.
This tells me
suddenly
that these
alien
bodies...
pops up right in front of you and shoots the second mouth at you.
Yep.
Look, that's why I've got. That's why the servo skull's got the little sweep back and forth. You just see the dot moving like real close.
Is anybody actually running an active auspex?
My servo skull has an active auspex.
I see. So give me an awareness roll plus 10, please, Cyrax.
This is why I would surmise that these bodies were collected by something for some other purpose.
Auspex plus 10 or plus 20? Servo skull.
Actually, I think it's a base. I'm giving you plus 10 naturally. I think it's plus 10 on top of that, so we'll be plus 20.
I'm just checking this to see. Servo skull is.
Yes, I've heard of this before, Garth. A race of evil Xenos called the Collectors gathered up a bunch of humans and used them to form a sort of super giant
it's
mecha human.
Plus 20 for the auspex.
That sounds,
I'll then do plus 30 then, because it's plus 10 on top of that.
Actually rather disgusting.
It was horrifying. Campfire story they told us about Commissar named Shepard. Commissar Shepard, they called him.
Commissar Shepard.
So you're picking up, the auspex is picking up that the power of the ship is being drawn towards the sort of the bottom decks of the aft section. So it's effectively, because you come into a part of the ship which is above the ground, you're about sort of 5 or 6 decks up from the bottom. And the lower decks have some power where the power's being dragged through, so there might be lighting, door controls, etc. The upper decks are unpowered. All the current draw is being pulled into something beneath the ship or in the bottom of the ship.
I like to imagine that even though I have a handheld auspex, but what I'm doing in this case is the servo skull scanning and the results are there.
Captain, come take a look at this.
When he comes over.
Go take a look at this. Yeah. What is this?
According to the auspex sweep, there is power being drawn on the lower decks. What it is being used for, I cannot say, but all the other decks are cold. Look at the thermal boom.
I wonder if that's where our core is.
Power is going there. Regardless, it is worth looking at.
But my positive
you get a momentary ping of some irregular movement, so movement that's not just ship components moving on their own, about 3 decks down and about 200 yards afore of where you currently are.
If I may
it's a moment later.
If I may posit a theory, I believe that the power from the active power source on this ship is being diverted to the laboratory below.
Well, he said it was on the bottom deck of the ship. I mean, it could very well be that.
Or the upper decks just sustained so much damage in the crash that the connection has been broken. Either way, we need to look.
And then as soon as that movement pops up, they'll be like,
Nero, I found someone for you to play with.
Yeah, so I mean, Nero is gonna start moving, following those instructions. You said forward and down.
Yeah, it's like he said. It's a couple decks down.
Yeah, 3 decks down, about 200 yards, 4 of where you are now.
Okay. Like as we get closer, does it move?
It occasionally pings on, you're not getting a regular signal here. You occasionally get somewhere in that area within, sort of 4 or 5 corridors.
I mean,
it also really helps that there are very few things on this ship, and most of the power in the ship is most of the ship is unpowered. So I assume the noise is very low as far as things for the Auspex to ping.
Nero's gonna stay in communication with Cyrax to get Auspex updates with his.
Well, are you all going, or just Nero?
We're all
I assume
going.
everybody's going, but I'm leading the pack with the bolter.
Correct. Yeah, and
I mean, I'm gonna use the omniscope in order to figure out what I'm looking at, but I'm gonna, in secret tongue rogue trader, ask Cyrax quietly for updates every once in a while.
Yeah, well, I imagine our order is the servo skull's floating above you, right in front. You're behind it. I'm following you because I've got my eyes focused on the screen, seeing what the servo skull is seeing. And then everybody else wants. Maybe Garth should be after me, and then the captain behind him, or vice versa, whichever way. Just because.
As we get closer, Nero's going to say, Cyrax, is there any way for the servo skull to provide light for everyone else? Not everyone has flashlights or omniscopes.
Well,
eyes.
I've got light on. So they.
Here's a legitimate question about my sight.
I mean, it does
need it.
So it does.
You don't need light to see.
But Pierre does.
I believe it has an inbuilt lumen globe. I think. But if it doesn't,
I'm prepared to say you guys have stab lights or lumen globes, whatever the case, what is required.
Yeah, we probably have stab lights. It's just basic flashlights. At least that's what I've been doing. I don't have the fancy cybernetic. I have cybernetic eyes. I don't have these cybernetic eyes, but I just like being able to use my eyes as flashlight. So I mean, Pierre could be right behind me, and he could see just fine. But,
okay, so is everybody seeing a map, or at least a room?
Yes.
Hopefully just a room. Okay,
indeed.
cool.
I'm seeing a very small room. Yes.
Okay, cool. So effective. So you've come from the left-hand side. So the yellow and black striped things indicate doorways. So the doorway in front of you, directly here, is closed. Hopefully you can see a ping in the dark. There is movement coming from here.
Yes. They're saying this direction.
Yes, that's right.
All right, now I can no longer see that line, so you're going to need to delete it for me.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
You just click on it, then right click, and go delete.
Oh, I can do it. Cool. No worries. Okay.
Yep.
All right. All right. So, I'm assuming. So if you can open the door up, let's just see.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will work. Okay.
Nero's going to open it by pushing up against it and then slamming the button with his fist while he one-hands the heavy bolter. I mean, I guess he's going to sweep and then combat charge to the next door area and looking behind him briefly to see who's following.
All right, the ping is now here. Motion ping.
All right, Nero's going to make a don't talk sign.
So over the comm bead, because I can talk with it through it without whatever. I'll be like,
if we enter a larger room, you take the left, I'll go to the right.
All right, Nero's going to open the next door while nodding.
Okay.
James is like, look at all of this that I did. All right, so Nero's going to post
so
up
it
on the
opens up
left-hand
into
side.
a vestibule with a door in front of you and a door to your right. The motion is now coming from here.
Yep, Nero's going to reorient himself in that direction, and as soon as everyone's in the room, punch open the southern door.
Yep. All right.
Is the what's it called? Dynamic lighting making the whole thing lag for you? Anybody else, or just me?
No, it's just you.
it's not lagging for me at all.
Okay. So the motion's coming from there. So let's go to, at this point. So if you guys want to, if Garth and Pierre want to move forward a bit, then we'll go to initiative at this point in time, because you can hear something moving, something big moving in the corridors ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
And you get the impression that maybe it's heard you.
Oh, lovely.
So let's have initiative rolls.
Roger.
What exactly?
So
Agility?
D10 plus your agility bonus.
Yeah.
So glad that I recently upped my agility.
Yeah.
14.
Nice. Pretty good. Where the hell?
So 14 for Pierre.
Yeah.
Wow, natural one. Wow, get fucked me, I guess. I added myself to the initiative, James.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why does mine show as a 6?
It's
That's
specifically
me. I'm the
Chrome.
6.
Yeah, but it says Garth 6.
Oh, because that was from the previous combat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I can manually adjust it, or you can add yourself. I don't mind either way, but I'll just change it to whatever it is.
Chrome was my problem. I figured it out. It's not lagging now.
Okay, so I
I
got
had a
10.
13.
Is it the old where you download too much prawn there?
Okay, and Cyrax, what was yours? Sorry.
No, I don't know
12.
what's the deal.
Okay.
1, 2.
I might need to dump. I might have a setting that's off that needs. I don't know.
Well,
I'm
Okay.
on Firefox. I got an alternative.
So Pierre, it is your go.
I resorted
So-
to Internet Explorer yet.
yeah.
So the motion is coming from down here somewhere.
No.
I can't hold an action, can I?
You can. Yeah, you can delay.
Oh god, it's a thing. Break out the flamer's voice.
I'm going to just hold a shot or two, whichever I can do.
I've seen
Of
this
my,
movie, James.
So there's two ways you can hold an action. You can either declare like an
my
Overwatch,
God, it's
which
the
basically means
dog.
that you are saying if this happens, I do this.
Yes,
Or you
if
can delay.
something
Yeah,
breaks around that corner from my eyesight, I will shoot it immediately.
An
If it's-
Adeptus Sororitas sister with her hands up.
She comes at you with 2 margaritas and is doing some shoulder movements. Wait, what?
Shouldn't be
Pierre
shady about
immediately
it.
murders her.
Okay.
She had a gun.
What would you like to do?
I will also hold action if something comes around that corner that is clearly hostile. Then I will immediately fire.
Okay, all right.
Confirm target first.
Cyrax is well, I was gonna say happy little ass, but you know, shiny metal ass is, let's see, I forgot how far my movement is. I use too many character sheets.
It should be half move is your agility
Yeah, okay.
bonus,
Yeah,
and full move is
so,
twice that.
no, I'm doing a full walk, so I can move 8 meters. So, I'm gonna go, actually, I'm just gonna slide in between these two. I'm gonna get up to, yeah. So, right here, and I'm gonna wait for
Okay.
Nero. Jesus Christ.
All right, so we go.
I'll
1,
admit they do have a lot in common, but no.
Okay,
Oh, God.
so coming around the corner. Something
Wow,
that
I
is
can only see the arm of this thing, but James, I gotta tell you, I'm not happy with it.
I saw some tentacle things on it.
No, I see like a weird. It looks like a
I see
shooty.
nothing at all.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
John Carpenter
All
looking motherfucker.
It's supposed to like a claw, like a clamp claw. that
Yeah.
you'll
right.
see.
Yeah, that's what I see. Yep.
I can see it, and I'd like to shoot it.
You come around the corner and there's a
Yeah.
beholder.
Yeah. So whatever it is, it's big. It's moving almost mechanically, with definite sort of aggressive intent. So I will let you shoot at it. It is hulking, so you get to add +10 to hit it. Those that save the actions to shoot. But also it does have some cover, so it's a -10, so that cancels itself out.
Okay,
Okay.
so, well, I guess I just don't see it where I'm at. 'Cause I haven't seen any.
Yeah, it
Um,
hasn't gotten far enough for you, I would think.
Is there a
with the-
bonus for close range? I don't know what close range is considered.
Yeah, half
Yeah.
the, so it's +10 if you within half the range of the gun.
I'm pretty sure I have 30 feet. Am I correct for the
Meters.
plasma pistol?
Yeah.
30 meters. Yeah, we're at 35 actually, so I should be well within half. So it's +10.
Yeah, +10 total.
Excellent. I will spin a fate point. Will not let that lie. I want to let that lie then.
Okay, Garth, I believe you had an action saved as well.
Yeah, but I can't actually see it.
Oh, you can't? Okay, no worries.
In your defense, Pierre, plasma weapons often don't give a fuck what you want.
Okay, so Nero.
I can see it, is the thing. And a single shot plus... So I'm not single shotting. Alright. What do I think that this thing is based on just my being able to see the clamp arm? Like, is this a Xenos design? Is it Imperium? Is this like a servitor or a loader bot? Or is this some unholy abomination I've never seen before?
So the clamp arm looks like part of a servitor, but
Yeah.
you can also see like a massive flesh behind it, which is too big for a servitor. So yeah, your first guess is it's some sort of large servitor, but you're not sure.
Shit. See, here's the thing. I know that I don't want to get close to this thing, but I don't know how the rest of the party is going to react here. I mean, obviously, let me run through this real quick. Cyrax, you have a melee weapon and you're pretty good with it, right?
I have a Power X.
So when this thing walks around the corner, you're going to be able to, like, stab it to death, right?
Yeah, I'll be able to get all
Alright,
choppy.
is Cyrax going to be real upset if I don't join him on the front line to get murdered by this thing? And just shoot it real good?
I don't even know it's there, so...
Okay, well, I'm asking you.
I mean, you know...
I know you said to come up on your left, but I'm thinking right now that this is not a creature I want to approach. In fact, my go-to would be to start leapfrogging backwards.
Well, I mean, here is player to player. Here's an idea: suppressing fire, and then yell for that there's something around the corner, and he might take a step or two back.
I mean, instead of suppressing fire, I'm just going to shoot it real good.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't necessarily mean the suppressing fire
I'm going to
mechanic.
shout, suppressing fire! Get back! Let's fight it in the corridors.
All right, come on, Mr. Figgis.
All right.
Make sure you close your eyes when you do it. So
Okay, I'm gonna spend a half action to aim for +10.
Yep.
Then full auto for +20. Then another +10 because I'm a Arch-Militant who specializes in this gun. +40 so far.
Yep.
Anything else that I'm missing?
Well, it's hulking size and it's partly partial cover cancel each other out.
My targeting it doesn't cancel that cover in any way?
No, because it's already giving you already getting the aim bonus for that.
Yep, I'm just double checking to make sure. Okay, so my clip is fully loaded. +10 to hit via a Arch-Militant. Yes. All right. So where do I do a 2-hit? Aim thing? Does that give me? There it is.
You.
Yep.
Click.
Okay. So
Yeah,
+40. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Nothing happened. There we go. 9.5 degrees of success.
Holy crap.
Nice. Okay, so it will use its reaction to try and dodge to reduce that at least.
Yeah, I would hope so.
little did you know that the arm is blown up and then creates another organism. Or starts starting to slink off like the the head and the thing.
I mean, at the very least, it can only dodge once around, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Unless
So
you
now
have the
all of you
talent
guys
that
are
lets
going to get the mambo on it.
Yeah.
If you are going to dodge something, 9.5 degrees of success on a heavy bolter is a
There-
good thing.
There is a talent in the game that lets you dodge twice, but I don't think.
Is there
I think that's
anything
a
that
player
allows
thing.
you to reduce somebody else's dodge?
I mean, you could pin them maybe, but that I think actually it reduces movement speed.
Yeah, it's not
I
very useful.
don't know. I've never tried to do that in this system. Actually.
Why won't let me do a roll for some reason? I'm clicking dodge it. I have to do it manually. It's not giving me the ability to roll the skills. All right.
Just like everybody to know while I wait for that. I went to the store earlier today because I wanted some chips for my sandwiches, and I got normal kettle chips instead of salt and vinegar, and it's a tragedy, and I'm sad about it, but I'm still gonna eat them.
Okay,
I actually saw you type that in comments. I'm like, oh no.
Because if anybody needs more salt, it's me.
all right, so it did not manage to dodge.
Hey.
So you've got 9 hits on it. So
Pretty good for 10 bullets, yeah? Right?
Yeah. So that's 9 damage rolls. So what's the penetration of every bolter? Is 5. Okay, so whatever you roll, each one's going to be reduced by a total of 10 then.
That sucks, but okay. Do I roll for each one, or?
Yeah, roll for each one.
Okay.
Location doesn't matter. So 3, 4, 7, 12 is 19, 8 is 27.
It's a good thing bolters are tearing.
9, 36.
Sorry, it's taking long to roll these.
Probably some big damage ones here as well. A lot of 10s there.
Yep, getting some Emperor's righteous ass fury right here.
Yeah, Emperor's Wrath is what makes guardsmen so fucking deadly in this game system.
Like, oh my god, there's this giant nasty thing. Nero just guns it.
There's one missing.
I was gonna say. All right, I'll click it one more time, but I feel. Oh no. Okay, I just went ahead and did it.
Okay.
I feel like several of these I should be getting Emperor's Wrath on, right?
It's already calculated that, I believe.
Are you sure? And I mean, I thought it was auto-calculating
tearing
is what it was, not Emperor's Wrath.
Yeah, it auto-calculates tearing, but it does not.
It doesn't look like it's auto-calculating Emperor's Wrath because I'm hitting 10s on this and they're not re-rolling.
Okay. Because I believe that I need to check with Emperor's Wrath. I thought that it only, if in a burst action, it may only apply to the first shot.
Sure,
but,
okay.
Yeah, you have to check. I can. But
I feel like this thing's dead regardless. But
I'm gonna bet that this thing is probably fine. I mean, there's no way James was like, I'm gonna throw some.
Here's what James said. Oh, what's that got? 5 AP 5? Yeah. Okay. Each shot is reduced by 10.
Yes. I'm still gonna do a lot of damage.
The fact that this thing has a minimum of, okay, I don't know.
So you're clearly blowing chunks. You're seeing like chunks get blown off the part of it you can actually see. Like you're pretty much sure you've like torn off its entire right arm through the attack, and there's like blood splatter and flesh and bits of mechanics flying across the ground. But it does still appear to be moving. All right, I don't know. Can you see its? Do you guys see its health bar or not? I'm not sure.
No, we can't. You have to enable.
I can't see anything. But...
Yes, you have to enable the health bar to view by. Let's see. On the token, you have to go. There's like 2 parts to it. There's the second area is what people can see. So upper left-hand corner, you click the second tab, and then it'll be like name, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3. You need to be able to click view publicly or something like that for all of us.
Yeah, but Nero basically just unloaded an entire truckload worth of pain onto this thing. Is what he did.
This is a whole bunch of murder.
Yep. But it is definitely hurt. It definitely took some big damage there. It just has a lot of wounds.
Attack did not have an associated attack roll.
It has over almost 100. Well, not almost 100, but it has.
But each hit is it negates 10. So basically, anything over 10 is like 13. It does 3.
Looking for righteous fury and.
I mean.
I don't see anything about righteous fury and automatic
even
weapons.
With that, it's still a metric ton of damage.
I was saying, as I'm looking at this looks like it would pulverize something. But again, I don't know.
Like if it negates 10.
25 out of 40. Excellent.
Okay.
I see a health bar now.
Yep, we can definitely see it.
All right. Yeah, there's something unnatural about its body that is certainly like taking more damage than you would expect.
Yeah, so, even if it negates 10 with each hit, he still did 85 fucking damage.
So James, I'm seeing when rolling damage with the unmodified roll of D10 comes up a natural 10, there's a chance for righteous fury. You re-roll weapons or ballistic skill against the target again. If test is successful, roll another 1d10 and add that to the damage total.
Okay.
I don't see anything about.
I don't know if that's
unarmed, but yeah, I should technically get 3 rerolls, I guess.
Yes.
Look, you're the GM. If you say that it only applies to the first one, I believe you because you're the guy who makes the rules.
So this is the concession I'll make. I'll say that it can apply to any one shot.
Okay.
So if you,
I'll just reroll then for one shot.
Hit roll. Yeah.
Okay, so it needs to. What did I have? Plus 40. So I need to hit with this roll again.
Yep.
Which it does easily.
And then it's an extra D10 damage, and this I've already taken all of its resistances out, so this will be direct damage. Just to D10. 7 more.
Okay, funny, cool. I got another 10 there.
Is
That
it
would be
just
what,
a? Does it
92?
also add the?
No,
plus
it's
whatever?
75 plus 7 is going to be 82. Yeah.
Yep.
82
Should
points
be,
damage.
should be 85 plus 7.
No, I rolled the math out right there real quick.
Yeah, I'll do it
So
too.
that there'd be no question.
Okay.
Yeah, Nero is just going to nail this thing over and over and over again with boulder rounds. Just be like, it's not dead yet. Fall back past me and continue firing. And I think that's my whole turn, because those are both half actions.
Yep, Pierre.
No, Arthur, you added it. Oh, no, I added 18 instead of 8. That's what I
Yep,
did.
that would be it, because you were 10 higher. Yep.
Can you fire twice with the same weapon? Because it's an action for
It's
both.
No,
it's semi-automatic fire instead.
Okay. I'll just take an aim shot and at the thing.
Okay, so that will translate to a total of plus 10 to hit it.
Yes.
Just to be clear, James.
Oh no, it's plus 20 because
we
I'm in
see
half
its
range.
health bar is currently at 18 of 40, not 18 of whatever
I know.
40 plus. Okay.
It has other resistances as well. So
Damn it. About to resist it right to death.
Oh my god,
Yeah, fate point that for sure. There's no way you can't fate point that. I mean, probability of success here is so high.
I mean, this giant monstrous creature, and you did it in by over half of its total HP in one go.
Look, just because I'm very impressive. I know. This is the
Sid.
thing that I'm decided to do.
Sid, wait till I get my hands on a goddamn melt-a-gun.
There we go.
okay, as a hit, it's already used its reaction to dodge. So roll your damage.
Plasma.
Which is your plasma gun, isn't it? So which is a plasma pistol. So
10-6.
10-6. Okay.
Only 8.
Okay.
Wait, what?
That's right. It says eye damage, impact damage. That doesn't sound right.
And it's energy damage, but
Interesting. I don't think that did that right.
Oh no, you have written eye. So that's correct.
Okay.
You rolled a natural. You rolled a natural 2
Okay.
plus a 6. Okay. Yeah. Even with the penetration, that doesn't bother it at all.
Excellent.
Yeah, Nero's just gonna keep shouting at Pierre, fall back!
Garth.
Next round.
I can't even see it, so I'm actually going to. Beans. Nero is shouting, "Fall back!" I'm going to hold until I see this thing come around the corner.
Well, yeah,
Cyrax.
technically you are at the end of the line, so you are the one that shouldn't be falling back. But yes, good, excellent.
all right. So I mean, I have now heard the bird go by me as these 75 caliber shells are flying past me. I'm like, all right, well, I've been in enough fights. I know what's going on. Let's see, but I would like to.
Nero's really wishing he had that shoulder-mounted las gun right now.
Let's see.
Maybe
You
a
did
few.
pretty impressive amount of fucking damage right there.
And just so you know, at the end of the episode, I'm gonna give myself another +5 to ballistics, which would have made that a 10 hits.
I can move there. Yeah, move there. I'll do a half move. Now I can see that little bastard.
Just wait until James is like, well, you
Oh,
hit with more
the
bullets
hallway
than the
just
gun
disappeared
fires.
for me completely.
Well, yeah, because I think you. Oh, your thing might be set going off of my line of sight. It also might have been why Pondo is getting some lag.
Yeah, all I see is my icon and blackness.
Okay.
I'll try to refresh.
Okay.
It might not be a
Sorry?
refresh thing. It might just
but-
be that you don't have personal vision.
Okay, let me fix that. It might have been because I was trying to do. Actually, that's weird because it does.
When I-
do
when I-
feel the same.
The times I've used it, I always just hit the players that can see what they can see and no one else, and then it usually fixes the lag.
Well, I mean, it is kind of fair because I
Oh,
can't actually
wow.
see.
Well,
Wow.
but the thing is it's been described by astropaths that you don't see, but you see almost in a like you can detect the warp. Like everything has some sort of presence in the warp except for blanks. So you kind of
He
'cause,
holds
like-
up his power sword. Grant me sight beyond sight.
more or less like it's described as there's a lady like she's walking and they're like tree roots and stuff and she's sidestepping them. There's a hole. She knows it's there. Like you see, but you don't see. it's
So
it's a weird.
Sid, I changed your sight system to the same as everybody else's. So what can you see the shaft of light right now, or not?
Yes, I can see the shaft of light now.
I'm going to shoot at it with my plasma gun. Semi-auto. So that is what's semi-auto?
It's +10.
Fuck. Oh.
You got fate? You wanna?
Yeah. Do that.
Ooh, the creepy music ended.
Double fuck.
Wow, a 100 with
100.
a plasma weapon.
Yeah, but that gets hot too.
Yeah. Well.
So you have the choices to either take damage or drop it.
Hold up.
He throws it at the thing. It explodes when it hits it. And he pulls out the power axe.
You laugh, but that's been done on a regular basis.
Play hot potato with the plasma
You
pistol.
can do it with. Sorry, let me look at some real quick. Do I have?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a fucking half action though. Nah, I'll just drop it.
Yep.
Because I think I have technical knock, but I don't have an action to use it,
Yeah.
which is a problem. That's fine. I've still got a bolt gun.
Okay, so it charges. 1, 2.
You hear Cyrax bitching about something about it not being a Ryza pattern plasma gun.
I can see it, so I would like to take my held action.
You may.
Oh, look, it's a big chungus.
Grab
So,
my
I
initiative.
can't click on the thing to rotate it because the thing to rotate it is directly beneath its health bar. It's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, we know what you're. It's just. I mean,
Yeah.
we can see this thing clearly now, right?
So you can
Yes.
you can click twice on a token, and it should remove like all the other stuff around it. Sometimes
Yeah,
mine's not
that's
working
right.
for me. Double clicking.
You know what? I'm going to make it smaller, and then I'm going to turn it. I still can't do that. That's fucking not my day.
So is this a space
Oh, okay,
marine?
no,
is that
okay,
what we're looking
okay.
at?
No,
I think
there's not a space marine.
It's
So,
some type of battle
so,
server.
so what it is when it comes in, your first impression as it comes out of the dark is it's some sort of big servitor, but then you realize that although it's got servitor components, its body has been expanded by adding more bodies to it. Like it's literally, its
Like
arms now are actual whole bodies that have been melded into its torso flesh.
Oh, it's
And
some
has
flesh
original-
golem thing.
That's
attached to
weird.
it. So it's like some sort of flesh golem. So Garth, before you do your responsive attack, I need everybody to make a willpower test at -10.
Fate. Awesome.
Nice.
These are
Willing
things
as
that I
Geo.
am fantastic at.
Willing to buy jaded. Okay, thanks.
I am gonna fate point to reroll. I have all of
I'm
my fate
definitely
points.
gonna fate point that shit.
Nope, I have failed so bad.
I'm doing it too. Why not? Fuck it.
I passed.
Hey,
I
2
used my
degrees
last
of
fate point.
success.
God fucking damn it.
Okay, so Arthur, give me a D100 plus 40 roll.
No, that's not bad.
57. Okay, so
It could've been
you
worse.
really would shock the character, backs away from the thing that confronts them. The character cannot willingly approach the object of his fear, but may otherwise act normally with a -10 penalty on all tests. The character gains 1 insanity point. And will you please atomic roll me D100 plus 60? .72.
We both rolled really low. Is the thing
The
that worries
character
me.
is frozen in terror. The character may make no actions until he snaps out of it. After snapping out of it, the character takes all tests at -10 for the rest of the encounter, and you gain D5 insanity. So snapping out of it means on your turn you've got to keep rolling until you roll your willpower unmodified, but to snap out of it.
Well,
5 insanity. Okay. So Garth, you were doing something to it.
Yeah, I was gonna shoot it,
Okay.
I believe. Well, seeing this creature now, would I know whether or not a force bolt or a stub automatic would be more effective?
Force bolt, 100%. Stub automatic would be next to in it. Would be pretty much useless against unless you
then
happen to
I'm
roll a
gonna
critical hit.
Force bolt this bitch. Are there any modifiers?
Yes. Okay. So it's a manifesting test first. So the question is, are you doing it as unfettered or push in terms of? So if you push it, it gets stronger, but there's a much greater chance that you will actually. Well, it's guaranteed you will get Perils of the Warp, or alternatively, you do it at your standard unfettered level, where there's only about 10% chance of something bad happening. So let me tell you what that translates to in terms of the actual damage as such, so that they'll give you a better idea. So Force Bolt is.
It is just like, I can't wait to get shot in the head. I would just love to be killed in this first combat.
Fucking got too many things.
I actually picked up skills that will help me combat that possibility. So.
He's like, man, it's so weird that I've begun rising on a throne of blood. I'm growing wings made out of bat flesh. This is so
like
unusual.
I am becoming what I was truly meant to be.
No, you gotta go with the classic Dawn of War.
I feel the warp overtaking me. It is a good pain.
It's what the psychers in Total War do. Or not Total War, Dawn of War.
Sorry, my PDF program has decided to go slow just for a moment. I'm just getting it sorted out.
Yeah, that's why I used Sumatra. Henley recommended that to me, and it's super lightweight and quick. Fuck Adobe Reader.
Okay, so does D10 plus 2 impact damage plus 2 for each point of effective psi rating? So that means that at your standard power level, it would be D10 plus 6 damage. If you were to push, it would become D10 plus 10 damage.
I'm gonna push.
Okay, so that is a willpower test at plus 20.
I'm all up in here listening to Salt and Pepper right now. You can't fail to Salt and Pepper, motherfucker. You better nail this test.
I'm listening to Blood of Heroes by Tyr. I don't know,
button, but it didn't actually do anything.
Give it a second. It might be Roll20 is like on Fridays and Saturdays just been shit.
Yeah, but it's because they didn't reinforce their servers.
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
crazy.
buy new servers.
But it's
3 degrees of success.
Hey.
Okay, cool. So that is enough that it also gets pushed back by the attack, but it's still enough to charge in. That's okay. But what I'll do, okay, I'm going to put it back here. That makes a difference. Also, you will do then D10 plus 10 damage.
His name's like Perils of the War. Nurgle appears in person. Campaign over.
I don't like not being able to buy nervous
17.
Okay, so that's ignoring some of its unnatural shit as well. So, all right, and then give me a percentile roll.
All right, Sid. This is where all the beams matter.
Percentile roll.
Yeah, just D1. Roll D100.
Okay, bear in mind that I do have both Rite of Sanctioning and Warp Affinity.
Okay, roll twice, and we have to pick with one you get.
All right. Good work. Good work, Sid.
Slash roll, so it would be 2D100.
Or just, because that'll add it together. Just do slash roll D100 and then roll it again.
Yeah. I would say 2D100. Keep
lowest.
lowest.
That would show you.
Yeah. KL1 will keep
lowest, not always necessarily, because some of the things that they might be giving it, like all lights go out, for example, could be a problem for some people.
Not for me, but yes, I understand.
It's a relatively
First
low
roll is a 76.
Yeah,
okay, that's definitely not the roll you want.
Second roll is a 60.
Okay.
How perilous are these fucking perils right now?
Just 1 second.
I believe that I have Warp Affinity, which allows me to re-roll one as well.
Place and then re-roll one?
I'm looking at all the
I don't know
things.
how that works, actually, but I have
Warp
both.
Affinity?
I think they do something mutually exclusive. You can't have both.
Or I think you can't
need to
invoke
check that
both at the same time, maybe. I think there's some interaction there.
Let's get. So this one's not too bad. So 60 is Banshee Howl. A shrill keening rings out across the immediate area, shattering glass and forcing every mortal creature able to hear it, including the Psycho, to pass a toughness test or be deafened for D10 rounds.
So the only thing about Warp Affinity is it says you may not select it if you undergo the rite of sanctioning.
Which I have not undergone.
Okay, when
No, I thought you said that was one of the two that you had.
Oh, that is actually, so yeah, I couldn't have taken Warp Affinity because I had Rite of Sanctioning.
Yeah, you can have both.
So I don't actually have Warp Affinity.
Yeah, but you've got the one that you roll twice at the best, don't you? Which is, I think, Rite of Sanctioning that you roll twice.
Yeah, which is it's arguably
so
better.
That was a mistake on my part, so I still have 250 XP that I need to readjust.
I mean,
76 would be Perils of the Warp, right? It would actually be really bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Banshee Howl is probably the one we want to go with, Sid, maybe?
Yeah. Banshee Howl is definitely going to be the one we're going to go with.
So let me just put it in perspective. If you had rolled 76 and then you'd rolled 60 on the second chart, a demon would have appeared within 3d10 meters and stuck around for d10 rounds. So, yes.
Welcome to playing a Psyker in Warhammer.
Okay, so everyone needs to make a toughness test +0.
Or like a toughness test plus Nero.
Besides Sid,
who failed horribly and will re-roll.
Rite of Sanctioning is arguably better because
Still
whenever you
failed.
use Warp Affinity to do that reroll, you suffer corruption every time. Sid +0.
I'm actually going to reroll my toughness test.
Okay.
I can't reroll
I'm a tough boy.
because AP convinced me to spend my fate point to reroll.
Hey,
my
I
attack.
succeeded. 2 degrees of success.
Okay. So
Wizard
at least Cyrax isn't deaf and blind. Okay, so that's 5 rounds for Nero, and for Pierre
what's
that
happening?
is 1 round.
We're
You're deaf
deaf.
for that long.
Oh, okay. And I'm blind.
No, just deaf.
No,
He's dead.
no, that was Garth. That's blind.
Is he deaf?
Okay.
Is it tinnitus?
I'm already blind, so...
So now this thing gets its attack. So effectively, it lashes out with like fleshy tendrils as its arm extends. So it actually has a 2 square range as such. So if it had not been pushed back, it could have attacked both Cyrax and Pierre. But it can attack every person within range twice. So
Nice work, Garth!
Sorry, Cyrax.
What'd you say, Garth?
It actually can be useful sometimes to let stuff try and hit you because if you parry with a power weapon, there's a chance you're going to destroy their weapon.
Yeah. Okay, so first attack on Cyrax, and second attack on Cyrax.
And there
So
appears to
one
be
of those was a
child
hit.
in
You want to try and
comforting.
you're frozen in fear. You can't react, unfortunately.
Oh, shit. That's right.
James, your cherub seems to want your attention. You have a message.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So,
That ain't no joke.
yeah, minimum damage. There you go. 13.
It does
It's
1 point of damage. Oh, pin
Pin
2?
two.
Okay. So it does 3 points of damage.
Yeah. So it's got like effectively like little blades come out of the flesh as it whips at you.
Yeah, I've got 12 armor.
Of course.
Or 12
Seems lovely.
total.
All right, Nero.
Okay, so 3.
Nero's gonna immediately shout toward Pierre. What did you say?
The other good thing is by pushing it back is that Nero can now shoot it again without shooting in melee combat. So
I know, it's so good. Alright, I have all the same as before, except I have a minus...
plus 10 more.
Well, yes, I have a plus 10 because it's not in cover, but I also have a minus 10 for my fear. So it's still a plus 40.
Yep.
It really sucks that I have to eat his possibility of dodge, but that's a cross I'm willing to bear. Yep, I mean, I hit him with everything.
10 degrees of success. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. When I was building this character, I was like, there is no way to optimize these bad boys. I guess I just want to look at heavy bolters. And if you go back through the cast chat, you can see my path of like, how can I make this character heavy bolter reliant?
No, it's fine.
I twisted my
Never
whole
worse.
character creation to be like heavy bolter, 100% necessary.
I have a character in a Black Crusade game who has like I think 25 total damage reduction. So short of him getting shot point blank by a tank, he just doesn't give a fuck. I took a dreadnought on in close quarters combat and won.
Righteous Fury hits, and I deal another 13. I'm pretty sure this thing's super dead.
Yeah, I think it is.
5, 4, 11, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 0, 8, 5, 13 is a lot of damage.
All right, let's find out exactly how dead it is by looking at the critical chart.
The thing that concerns me as a player is we are all of 20 meters into this fucking thing, and I still see plenty of room to go. So,
oh, look, I was just fucking around. I made this map up just to try out various things. I didn't need the whole map to do all this stuff.
That's 81 damage.
I have mapped out the entire spaceship. You have no idea what Tomb of Horrors lays before you.
I mean, look, if we have to explore an entire heavy cruiser, I'm pretty sure that's just the whole game at this point. Probably several campaigns. No, I think maybe the engine section is just its own campaign.
Here's what happens. I mean, it's not been unknown for people new to a ship to just get lost and wander just endlessly. But we just switched to a fucking Space Hulk game because see what it is.
Pieces of the body fly in all directions as he is torn into bloody gobbets by the attack. In addition, if the target's carrying ammunition explodes, he's not carrying ammunition. Anyone within D10 meters of the target is drenched in gore and must take a challenging agility test or suffer -10 weapon skill and ballistic skill for 1 round as blood fouls their sight. So I don't need to roll that because we don't need for the round won't matter, but probably everyone within D10 meters is showered in gore.
Hope that's less than
10
5.
meters.
No, it's all of us. No.
This thing explodes like a wet sack.
So what? 2 of you cannot hear it all, and we're all coated in gore.
The very next thing that happens is Nero goes, "Well, this is normal. This is what I'm used to. Can't hear, covered in blood."
What?
I said I can't hear it. I'm covered in blood.
What?
Oh no, sorry. I would actually also be saying what.
I established a mind link with everyone so these guys will stop fucking yelling.
Oh, hey Garth, how's it going?
Why are you yelling?
Well, I can't hear.
Man, that was a dreadful ring.
Yeah, there was a horrible banshee noise. Do you know anything about that?
I apologize for that. I might have pushed myself a little bit farther. It's fine.
Nero is like cleaning off his guns, clearing the site, and all of that stuff. It's just like, well, actually, I'm fine. That went surprisingly well. Hey, Cyrax, how are you doing?
There's a great smell as the blood is burned off of the power axe with its power field. So there's just a smell of boiling viscera.
Yeah, should we be worried about this stuff? What was that thing?
It appeared to be some type of mutated and/or corrupted servitor.
All right, are we like corrupted now?
You can actually speak in alternate voice because mind link.
All right, man. If he gave me shit for that the other night, he's like Cyrax is normal. He's kind of an asshole.
Yes, no, I wanted to say that in character. That was a great time.
Our deafness is only temporary.
It is, yes. Yeah, passes within a minute.
I only had like a minute and then, or a round.
I have to take, reset my audio receptors, like shake them,
clear the gore out of them.
Yeah.
So this combat part, I'll just might just move your figures forward to like in this corridor here, just so I can sort of describe this better.
I would like to note, I pick my plasma gun back up. I look at it. Don't betray me again.
Oh, what's down here?
So, sitting against this wall here, that's been here for a long, long time, clearly, is a suit of power armor, marine power armor, that is basically sitting where the warrior fell.
Ooh.
Up against the wall.
This is relevant to my
but this looks like it's an ancient, I say ancient pattern. You probably recognize that it is not a modern style of space marine armor. It is it's Mark IV for those of you that care.
Early Horus Heresy.
I mean, Nero's going to be reverent and say something like, "Thank you for your service."
So they died through violence. Clearly, there's like bolter impacts in their chest, and you can sort of make out like just probably even the bones would go over 10,000 years. The bones would be gone as well. So it's just the ceramite that remains.
Is it? Can I inspect it closer? I want to see if there's a sigil or.
Yes, I was also wanting to see if.
I was gonna say color scheme, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because if this crashed, yeah, I'd need to see the sigil.
Yeah. So the armor itself is black. When you look at the shoulder plate, the symbol on the shoulder plate is embossed, at least, so any coloring wouldn't matter. It's a dagger with 2 red wings.
I know this one.
Dark Angels?
Or a sword.
Dark
sword
Angels.
material, yeah.
Dark Angel's original color scheme was black. I don't know why they changed it to green. Should have left it black. Looks way more badass.
Well, it's green and white and then black.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, look at the early, like the Horse Heresy Dark Angels art. Should have stuck with the black, man. It looks so much better.
So, James, while everybody else is looking at the body, I would like to loot the body. I'm looking for something very specific.
Okay.
I'm looking for any sort of books or texts of, like, Space Marine. I wouldn't call them religious artifacts, but like spiritual relief. You know what I'm talking about? Like the things that they use when they go to their monastic cell to like reflect upon. Something like that. Are
you trying to do this covertly?
No, not even slightly. Like I'm not trying to steal the suit or any weapons on it, but I am looking for Space Marine text.
Okay.
And I'm doing it super respectfully because I believe in the machine spirit and I believe that this armor is still alive.
Okay, so give me a +30 search roll.
Oh, great. Here's another skill that I don't have and I'm not good at.
So, question for you, James. This is kind of it's not necessarily a game.
I will give him a +10 to it.
You know how
I assist.
You know how in the
tell me to do this?
Yes, I can do this.
Oh, well, looks like that +10 actually worked out.
Search for it.
So what are you saying? Sorry, Atomic, by the way?
You know how in the books and such, when like Marines in their power armor creates a map as it sees, as you like, if they're moving along like through a ship or something. Since I'm off-spec scanning, can I kind of like keep sort of essentially building a map as we go? Because I would like to mark this for possible extraction later. Okay. I just want to mark that location.
So anything that you would like, anything book-like, AP would clearly have degraded over time, but what you do find is that like in their like waste kit, that you actually pull out like a data slate sort of thing, like an old pattern data slate. It's unpowered, but it appears to be undamaged as well.
Can I plug it into something?
You probably need to take it. Like, you don't have the tools to start it up here again, but you do have. Actually, no, you can probably plug it into Cyrax.
I can probably plug into it.
The only thing you do find might be of interest is inside the armor. You find like a bone, which is clearly not one of the Space Marine bones. It's effectively like a large claw or fang. And it's got like a hole through it, so you assume it was like worn like a fetish, but the leather strap was long
like a war trophy or something.
I'm gonna hand I'm gonna hand the bone to Cyrax, because if there's anyone who knows what this is, it's gonna be him. And I'm gonna hold the data slate up before him and say,
"Do you have a USB-C jack?"
I know that you like to take possession of technology, and before you claim this from me, I'm just looking for spiritual guidance from our ancestors. I would very much appreciate it if you return this to me after you turn it on. And then I'm going to hand it to him, but again, we're both covered in blood.
When you say... Well, actually, we still got the mental... When you say spiritual guidance...
I'm looking for the truth of our ancestors.
And you're well aware that many of the Astartes do not follow the Imperial Creed?
I have heard such rumors.
They are not rumors. It's complicated.
Perhaps this data slate will enlighten me.
I will see what I can find.
I would appreciate it to be returned after you've copied its contents.
Yeah, no, I'll give him a nod. Yeah, I'll plug a... Because I'm pretty sure I have the utility. Well, is it utility mechadendrite that does that, or is it the implant? God damn it! Mechanicus implants. Okay, yeah, electrograph, small pore, probably allow you to interface with machine data ports and certain types of data nets. So yeah, all right, yeah, I'll plug into it. The bottom central jack that has somehow survived millennia. It still exists for some reason. We call it... Taylor says it was called USB Micro. Why? We don't know.
It's a mini USB.
It refused to die. It's a mini USB-B for some stupid reason. It's a fucking FireWire port that made a resurgence at some point. Yeah, no, I'll plug into it. And then
You sure this isn't heretical?
It damn well should be.
All right, so you start this thing up. So it's got quite a bit of data on it. A lot of it appears to be like the warrior's own records and notes, so it includes like he's actually sort of written something of a, not a life story, but like a journal of his actions as such, and it really starts off with his time on Caliban prior to the Heresy, about his own time as an aspirant, and then he sort of kept like a log of battles that he fought in the Horus Heresy, pre-Heresy. It doesn't go much into the
era, right?
Yeah, in the Crusade era, that's right. Yeah, when it gets towards the, like, when I say more modern, the later end of the journal, it's really, because it's on operational stuff at the time. Just 1 second, sorry. Sorry, I'll do it in a second. It's because it goes into like operational stuff regarding current orders. It is encrypted, so because it's not just his thoughts now. It's actually what he's been assigned to and everything. So you probably need time to decrypt that to go through it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing tells you from this why he's here though at the moment.
Like 10-15 seconds.
But it depends if it's a gene lock or not. That's more complicated.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Space Marines would, for example, you could have technology that was gene locked to, say, their Primarch, and because all of the sons of that legion have a trace of genetic lineage from that Primarch, they could all unlock that stuff. But anybody from any other legions, or excluding, any, like the Primarch, whatever, it gets complicated. But they could do it, but none of us would be able to unless we could bypass it. But I'll make a copy of it for my data slate, and then I'll hand it to him. But I will make a note that this armor's here because we can recover it and then try and use it as a bargaining chip if we ever have need of it.
So Nero's gonna stash this into like his backpack area, and then kneel down and put a bloody handprint on the front of the armor and say, "We do nothing else here today. Simply recovering this suit of armor will have made this journey worth it." Of course, I hope we do a lot more. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff we need to do, like recovering your mother's body to start with, but...
I have it marked on my map. We'll come back for it.
There is damage in this corridor, battle damage that is, like, not recent, and it's clearly bolter-on-bolter action.
Okay, yeah. Well, considering we saw a Cestus Ram earlier, it's not surprising.
Do the Dark Angels use Cestus Rams? Did they use?
Many of the legions use them, some more than others. But without being able, I don't have records from that. And it really depended on Great Crusade. Each legion was broken up into hundreds of various fleets that used various tools against various enemies. It's hard to say. I'd need to inspect it.
As Nero turns towards the fading screen leading to the end, he says, "Perhaps it's time to run another Auspex scan to figure out which direction we're going."
And how?
Is that a good place to stop, James? I don't want to cut us off too early, but it kind of feels like a good place to stop.
The last thing I want to say is, as you come around this corner for a second from where the thing came from.
Okay. Nero will sweep back there. Someone will walk down the corridor.
At the end of the corridor is a hole in the ground, well, a hole in the ground, like effectively like a gap space between decks that goes down, and cabling has been pulled out of the walls around it and goes down through that hole to deck one. Basically, looks like this is where the power draw is coming from, and that seems to be what that thing was guarding.
So
pull down, boys.
Just to ask, if we, are we speeding through searching the rest of this facility? Is there nothing else to find on this map? Essentially,
I mean, I just created some random corridors really to experiment with. If I just turn off dynamic lighting, hopefully the whole map should appear then.
It will.
There you go.
But yeah, I just want to know if we need to go check all these corridors.
No.
All right. just
If
follow
I
the main
don't
plot then.
forget, James, I'll give you give you access to my stash map assets because damn, do I have a lot.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I just created this map to use for. I had a couple of different
know.
fights I could have used in it, and I had.
But it's just, you know, you can have them because I've got literally thousands of like it's all the tokens and map assets that I've bought from like Humble Bundles, and you know, it's like, oh, guys sharing free stuff on, you know, it's like the map maker subreddit or what, you know, whatever. I absorb all that shit like a vacuum.
Okay. I just bought spacecraft cruiser builder.
Yeah, I've got one of those. I think I have this exact. I've built maps of this before. I've also got literally thousands of tokens from Dark Heresy First Edition, Second Edition. Like literally all. If you need an enemy for any of them, all the way from like Chaos Spawn up to Warlord class Titans, I got you.
Cool. So yeah, so that's the last moment is you see the power cables dragged out of the wall and put down this hole in the floor to deck 1.
You just hear a radar ping as the Auspex goes off again.
And that's where we'll finish up today. So everyone may have 300 XP.
Nice.
Well, I'm rank 2 now.
Oh, that's right. I have auto sanguine, so I always count as lightly wounded because I'm mostly made of metal.
Except you're not wounded at all.
I took 2 wounds.
I thought you took 3.
3 wounds.
But still.
Yeah. But I get for free, I remove 2 points of damage per day. Actually, I might have auto sanguine times 2. Hold on.
I mean, it doesn't stack. You can't have it multiple times.
It doesn't?
No.
Oh. Oh, it's sound constitution. Sorry.
Oh shit, warp affinity was 500, so I have
Do I immediately put into charm that I have not used yet?
I'm looking at all
Are there going to be things down this hole that charm will work well on?
Well, I can tell you already, Cyrax is immune.
I would like to seduce the demon.
hello there.
That might work.
What nice
better than you
tentacles
think.
you have there.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Well, so
lovely
certainly-
5 eyes you have.
It's like, but the thing is, AP, it's like trying to make a deal with a devil. You know, they're lawful, but they're lawful evil. So you really gotta know. You gotta know your fucking case law.
Garth will be able to confirm though. There's nothing warpy about that creature.
It also could have
The
been.
core.
It could have, or it could have been. It could have been some crazy muscle graft thing, or like how the Dark Eldar build their grotesques out of, you know, like they Frankenstein's monster shit together. So I mean,
I feel like it's the core.
So, just for my bookkeeping, James, at the start of the next episode, we're still only going to have our 2 original reloads and whatever we've expended. We can't just like be like, oh, 2 more reloads have reappeared.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's
reasonable.
common sense.
Okay.
Yeah, would say that. Yes.
Can
I
I
forgot to-
say that I am reloading the gun and one of my spare reloads now has 40 ammo instead of 60?
100%. As
Okay.
somebody who
That's
has
good.
worked operational on that, I would say administrative loading is a good idea.
Yes.
you gotta, and then you gotta. I mean, the thing that sucks though, James, is when you have 5 magazines with various ammunition, and you gotta repack mags. It's fuck. I hate doing that.
I shall reload my mind bolt.
Mind bullets.
Yeah, I think we all did pretty good this episode.
You rerolled a plasma pistol.
Plasma pistols have so it's if you look at a
Energy
picture of a plasma pistol, the little circular thing like in front of the hand grip, they're little like hydrogen. They're plasma flasks. It's like hydrogen suspended in a whatever the fuck state. Anyway, yeah, it does reload.
So it takes 3 full rounds to do so.
Yeah, it's very much like the plasma weapons in Fallout, and then it's just a little pop it out, put a new one in.
So can I ask, James, what caused such immense down tiering of damage on this thing beyond
It's armor, I think.
So I can answer the question for you. The answer will give something away. It's probably a lot. I think a lot of people are making the assumption anyway, but I can give you the answer. But it will certainly confirm people's suspicions.
Understand that I will not have suspicions to be confirmed. I have no idea. But yes, please go ahead.
Quantum shielding.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, the more damage you do, the less damage it takes.
Is that associated with?
Yeah, it's associated with Necrons.
Ah, of course it is. Yep. So
I was already convinced it was fucking Trays in the Infinite.
And my brain bullets somehow bypass that.
As soon as it's like
100%.
alien race,
Necrons don't have resistance to warp stuff.
Fuckery. Yeah.
They tend to try to.
That's why they had
it.
Well, it's why weird. It's why they. Well, it's also why. Did they ever Did they ever re-canonize Necron Pariahs, James? Or did they?
So they are currently not canon. Well, sorry, let me rephrase it. They don't appear in the war game right now. They're not like they haven't said they don't exist from a fluff point of view, but there's no rules for them currently.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's the whole reason why they brought in the Catan is they needed warp fuckery to fight warp fuckery from the old ones, aka giant frog god things, man.
What? Okay. I don't understand anything you said, but what I do understand is that Necrons have somehow taken over a servitor made of human bodies. So, well, I don't think that that machine doesn't seem like it comes standard issue with quantum shielding. Can we loot the quantum shielding off its body? Is it like a module we can take?
So certainly, if you search this thing, you will find that there is non-human technology in this servitor.
Okay.
You don't recognize it's clearly a xenotech, but you're not sure what its function is.
Yeah, I feel like that's the last thing we do. We get ready to drop down the hole, and then I'm like, wait, we should search that dead body.
I cast Yoink, or Mechanicus's favorite. Well, Mechanicus and Bloodraven's favorite. This is mine now.
So to give you an idea, Arthur, in the war games, since you're familiar with the war game rules, quantum shielding on Necron things means that when you damage them, they roll a dice. If they roll equal to, so if they roll less than the damage that you did to them, then they take no damage. So hit a vehicle with a las cannon, you roll 6 damage on a 1 to 5, it actually does nothing.
It's kind of the Necron equivalent to like a void shield, but just.
Okay, yeah, so a bunch of my hits were being blocked.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, no, actually, it's not fine. It really pissed me. But I want the party to know that I look very impressive doing all of that.
Yes. You still did 33 of the 40 wounds it took.
I hit 19 out of 20 shots, which is much better than that time where I missed, and I was so
damage
mad.
I only did like 7 wounds.
Yeah, because it's still got its toughness.
It just doesn't get the armor. It's why the one of the strongest things in the FFG games is like Black Crusade. You get a Chaos Sorcerer, and then they get the psi rounds, or not psi rounds, sorry, the warp rounds, the warp fire rounds for bolter. Jesus, those things are ridiculous. It's like, oh, here's some bolt shells that bypass all like toughness and armor.
Okay.
It was crazy. I
wish you outros.
Yeah, I was gonna say, James, let's start outros with you.
Okay. I'm James of Grimdark Podcast, grimdarkpodcast.com. Had another great time today. Really enjoying running this game. Hope everyone's enjoying playing it and watching it, of course. I got to throw in some, pseudo sci-fi horror, what's around the corner, play with dynamic lighting in Roll20 for the first time. Yeah, I think it went well, and I'm looking forward to next time. I'm also thankful to my wife, who 2 weeks in a row has let me play on her anniversary and then on Mother's Day. So kudos to my wife, who's now left, as you might have seen before.
My final note to you, James, would be to turn on update only on drop. Yeah. That way, when someone picks up a token and moves it, they don't get to see what's there until they drop it.
That is a good point. Now, I was using the new dynamic lighting, updated dynamic lighting, which no longer has update only on drop available.
I thought it did, because I've used it since they updated it, and I was able to do that.
No, I had to put it back into legacy mode for that to work. And I was also playing around with like exploration mode, where anything you've seen before is still revealed. But I was worried when I was experimenting, moving your models around to make sure what could be seen in player mode, I was effectively saving exploration before the game.
So you can, I think it's Control L allows you to see whatever token you have currently selected.
Yeah. I learned that after I set the map up when I was watching some YouTube videos about it.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I did the same thing. I built a whole one shot, did all the lighting, doing it the shitty way, and then learned about that afterwards. And I just wanted to flip something.
Yeah, I also tried creating because on the map there's a bunch you might see of little like blue glows that are supposed to be console screens. I was trying to actually create some ambient light, and I did. I put tokens in the GM layer.
Yes.
And gave those things a light emission, but I didn't.
That won't work. You need to put them on the dynamic lighting layer and give them the emissions.
If you really want to mess with people, James, what you do is you restrict their light to their field of view. I did that to my players, and they were like, I don't like not being able to see everything. It's like, welcome to the horror show, motherfuckers.
So the real way to do it, James, is to shrink the token down as small as possible and then just use it, like put it as a background asset, and then still have it give off light, because it will transmit light no matter how big it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got anything else going on?
No, that's it. Life continues.
Pondo, I want to hop to you. I really appreciate you giving me that +10 bump on the thing that I really have super wanted and can't buy. I mean, you can't buy Space Marine scripture, so the fact that Nero can now be like, yes, I see. Space Marines have problems just like me. They really just are really bummed out about everybody around them being so shitty. I can understand that. What do you got?
Space Marines are people too.
Yeah, Space Marines. Well, I mean, to him, Space Marines are like avenging angel, near godlike beings, but he's about to learn that they have problems too, and they have to live a life of orders.
And just like a lot of people in real life, that problem is family.
And that family is Horus, that motherfucker. Ponder, what do you got?
I don't have much. I am Ponder of Ponder the Mad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch/Ponder the Mad. You catch me here Thursday nights with BattleTech with Sid. I think this week we'll be finishing up this one weird arc. I don't know.
Weird arc.
It got a little weird.
I would say it's unusual, but listen, there's no, I'll bring it up at the beginning of the next episode. Everything that I did is technically canon as fuck, and I have the receipts.
No, I understand. It's canon.
BattleTech canon gets really weird where the clans and their narco interrogation is involved.
I never deny those that it would have not been canon. I'm just saying it's a bit weird and peculiar. It seemed a bit out of character for clans, but I guess if you're smart, you can learn how to do some slight espionage.
Have I ever told you about the clan watch?
It's been a fun arc.
Okay.
But
what do you have? Don't you have a stream?
I do. Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, roughly.
Yeah, it's called like Rangers of Hull Down.
Sure. It's Hull Down. We're all in tanks, and it's the Second World War on the Western Front. It's crazy.
It is Hunters of Olvern. It's a 5e Gestalt game.
Close enough.
Set in my own world.
Why are you playing Jesuits?
Yes. Yeah.
Trying to scrape by those minimum level bad. Just Tomic, what do you got?
What's up? I'm here, and I'm like 3 beers deep, and it's great. That's why I had the chips. I'm still disappointed that I bought a couple bags of not salt and vinegar chips, and I'm going to be very salty about it, or not salty about it, as it were.
Well, I guess you won't be vinegary about it. It's so good at this.
Here on Saturdays, obviously, with all these fine gentlemen over on Pondo's channel. On Sundays, and then obviously here again on Wednesdays, New Game Plus, where we're up to shenanigans over there. You can find me twitch.tv/AtomicWarsmith, where I play stuff occasionally whenever I'm not dying of the plague. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Glad I could actually be here tonight and not, pass out in my kitchen floor halfway in between. So good stuff. Hopefully my surgery comes up next week, and then I can get this over with.
Okay. Sid, what do you got?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for watching. It was a lot of fun tonight. I'm actually rather glad that I didn't incur perils of the warp, because that would have been really, really, really bad for me. I'll be back on Thursday here for more BattleTech, and in the meantime, I do actually plan on having a video, possibly 2, out within the next few days on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SidAlpha, and that's about it.
Okay. I took one step closer today to turning Nero into Vulcan Raven. Now I just need to get the weird shamanism thing down. That's a reference to Metal Gear Solid, the original, just in case you're wondering.
Was that one step the insanity point you got?
No, it's the book. I mean, look, I'm hoping the book will allow me to bullshit you into lowering my insanity without costing me XP. But there will definitely be a point where I'm like, all right, I finished the whole thing. How to decrypt? Google. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Nero completely unbalances combat insofar as, you know, like everybody else deals reasonable damage and then he just deals incredible metric fuck
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit with all 10 of my shots here.
I mean, that's what I've been attempting to do, but now that we're there, I'm like, yep, well, I mean, like, how does James balance encounters around that? It seems like it's gonna be impossible. It'll be like Nero fighting a Chaos Space Marine in one corner and the rest of you fighting, I don't know, people.
Well, the way you
those were exceptionally good rolls both times.
Well, there are ways to. I mean, if like heavy bolter's a pretty big weapon. I mean, called shot. You know, you can disarm people or just prolong fights where you will run out of ammunition if you keep doing.
I would love to be in a prolonged enough fight that he runs out of ammunition on his first gun.
I've had it happen.
I would love for that situation to happen. I'd be so interested to know what he does from there.
Just pull an Antifo, just drop the gun that's empty and grab another one.
I mean, look, I'm looking at taking like rapid reload, and I've already got ambidextrous 2-weapon fighting, and then at tier 5 I can pick up gunslinger and then fire 2 pistols on full automatic with no penalties and a plus 20 for the burst, and so put out, you know, like 12 rounds. So like when I'm out of everything else, I could just be like, all right, pistol time, auto guns. Whee!
I had a Death Watch assault marine that had, you know, the jump pack, and then he had two bolt pistols, and that's what he would run around doing. It was pretty fucking good. Style points, that's the most important part.
I was 6 guns.
Yeah,
yes,
Arthur was Nero. Definitely the dealer of death tonight, though, with those rolls. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is
good rolls.
This is what I built my character to do, so I'm glad that he got a chance to do it. I have to tell you that quantum shit really pisses me off, though, because I was like, yeah, I'm dealing so much damage, and now it's like the more damage you deal, the less damage he takes. And I'm like, no! Wow. Actually, I got to tell you, James, if Nero hadn't been here, that actually would have been a really tough fight for the rest of the party.
No, it was balanced appropriately.
It was balanced for Nero. I understand now.
The thing is, too, for example,
it would have just been Garth melting its face, and everybody else would have been like, "Oh God!"
Well, I mean, no, because I mean, if excluding when they get hot, or if I had only had a half action, it would have been fine. But I mean, plasma is it's a -6 pin, so the way you could. I mean, you could call it shot, take out its leg, take off an arm. I mean, it's not just, I mean, you doing it, it's just sheer volume of fire.
Correct.
But there are other ways. You just have to think a little bit more than just throwing. I mean, and even then later, higher level, there's some enemies and some types of enemies where it doesn't matter. You can full auto all day. If you don't have high enough pin, as much pin as possible, you're gonna have a bad time. So, you know, that's when las cannons, melta guns, like,
yeah, that's why I have a hell gun. I mean, it's only got 2 more pin, but you know, sometimes you want to shoot some people.
So
yeah, I don't know. I think I need some sort of sniper rifle type ultra pin. You know, it's not like
an Antifo. Just have one weapon of each type, so you're covered at all ranges, and you're good.
I absolutely want to have a missile launcher at some point.
Full auto all of them.
Yeah, James, thanks for setting this all up. Thanks for joining us on this auspicious day. I can't wait to get back to the ship and see how those guys that I ran continual drills on are doing. I hope that you're keeping a log that micromanages all their stuff, so when I ask them how it went, you're going to be able to break it down by the hour. That's it. Are we good for next week?
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back then. Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.